My strength is I know how the world works. I know how to get things done.
It's feeling less and less like he actually knows how the world works, isn't it? Here from the Toronto Sun, editorial, Mark Carney tossed grenade into trade talks. So the day before the deadline, he does this. It says, announcing Canada's support for an independent Palestinian state in opposition to U.S. President Donald Trump's position defies logic. Defies logic. But I guess these are those Canadian values that we've heard so much about.
Israel, burn, burn! Israel, burn, burn!
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
But it does seem like an odd decision. It's either total incompetence or just an intentional demolition of the process. And I have to say, for somebody who claims he knows how the world works and he wants to get the best deal for Canada, this is baffling. Unless he doesn't really want a trade deal. I mean, this is the guy who kept saying this.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation, is over.
Almost seemed like he wanted it to be over, didn't it? And weirdly, we started seeing polls coming out asking Canadians how they'd feel about joining the European Union, which, considering that Europe is a basket case and is rapidly deindustrializing itself, as well as becoming increasingly authoritarian and hostile to free speech and just individual liberties for Europeans. Oh, and there's also that small detail that Canada's not in Europe. But then we just had these polls apparently just coming out of nowhere. What Canadians think about Canada joining the European Union from Abacus. That's from March 10th. March 12th, Brussels is honored Canadians want to join the EU. Here from June 30th, half of Canadians favor joining the EU. I wonder, do half of Canadians realize that if Canada did join the EU, all of a sudden the EU will be setting immigration policy for Canada? Also, trade policy, they'll be negotiating for us. And then I think quite obviously just turning Canada and Canada's economy and the Canadian people into nothing more than a bargaining chip to be used against the United States. So, pretty dumb. But you have to start wondering about Carney's plans.
And as the most European of the non-European countries, Canada looks first to the European Union to build a better world.
So first off, Canada is far, far more like the United States than it is like Italy or Spain or Germany. For one thing, Canada and the United States share the same language. We watch the same shows, listen to the same music, we eat basically the same food. Oh, and there's also that huge land border, which is kind of perfect for trade when you think about it. All those roads going back and forth. Maybe getting that sorted should be the priority right now.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperation, is over.
So is Carney really so insane as to be intentionally tanking the trade negotiations with the United States in order to draw us much closer to the EU and perhaps even into the EU itself? Drag us into some EU net zero suicide pact? Something is up. I mean, none of what Carney has done has made any sense. I mean, nothing actually would surprise me anymore. We had 10 years of Trudeau, and then elected the guy who'd been advising Trudeau for the last 5 years, whose fingerprints were obviously all over all the things that Trudeau was doing that everybody hated. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.